Welcome to Martha's Fragrance Corner. This is my top 5 vendors and some honorable mentions video. So if you clicked on here, you're probably interested in hearing who my top 5 vendors are. And I'm kind of laughing here. I'm chuckling a little bit because I literally, I started this video. I've been talking for like a half an hour and I realized that I left off one of my top 5. Like I was looking at my list and I'm like, wait, what? And then I ended up picking a different vendor and I'm like, wait a second. How can I forget someone who was definitely in the top? So I have my top, and then I had this like tie, this little fuzzy there on the bottom, this kind of tie, could be any of these. And this just goes to show you that this list is super subjective. I will go through criteria on kind of how I picked who I picked. I will also mention when I did this the last time, the first top 5 vendor video that I did, who my top 5 were back then. That was 2 years ago, and how they've changed and the evolution of this, right? Because there's always new vendors coming and going, and things change. And if you ask me, like, I don't know, 3 months from now, it might be slightly different. And I'm not ranking these. So this isn't going to be like number 1, number 2. The reason being is on any given day, even within the top 5, they can change for different reasons. And I think that's all really based on preference and and the criteria, like what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about my top 5. So let's hope I don't screw this up. Third time of trying to make this video is a charm. So let's get started. When I was doing this, or when my first video, right? We'll call this the update. Even that same year in 2023, later on that year, I was like, my top 5 would be different. So I've been thinking about doing a new update, right? An updated version on this for a long time. And as I was thinking about this all week long, this week, like, okay, we're going to sit down and record this. I was like, it kept changing. Like it's so hard. And it's because 5 is like not enough slots, but like 10, probably now I'm throwing vendors in there, right? So top 5, I still think is the right amount. I will mention some honorable mentions and some other vendors in here. Just because there's a vendor that didn't make my top 5 doesn't mean I don't love that vendor. It doesn't mean that I will not continue to buy. Like I have many vendors that are on my list that I know I will always buy from because there's favorite scents that I have. I'm just in a place right now buying less wax and being a little more intentional about what I buy. That I'm not buying every pre-order or every RTS and things like that, just because that's the place where I'm at. But having said that, I had to come up with the top 5. So this is some criteria that I used. I looked at scents, right? The scents, how I love them, right? And that's complete subjective preference. And as I go through this video and as you're watching, please pause the video and give me your top 5 or your top 10 or your top 3, whatever, because I think we're all going to have different ones for different reasons, and maybe why you like them would be really helpful for others too, because I'm just one person. And my hope is that if you have a channel, that you make a video like this as well. And if you don't have a channel, then leave it in the chat below and give me some of your favorites. So scent, for me, is weighted the highest, most important thing. Do I love their scents? Like, do they work for me? Do they perform for me? That was definitely a criteria. Variety, because I feel like I like variety. I love bakery, but I also love woodsy scents, and I love trees. Well, tree and woodsy is the same thing, but I love laundry scents, and I like some floral scents, right? And some combination of all of those. And so variety is important for me. And variety, not just in scents, but also in sizes, in things like that. So that's important. Customer service, like how engaged are they in their groups and willingness to listen, make some changes, how they present, when I get their package, the presentation of how I receive. Was it just thrown in a mailer, or, is it in a nice box with tissue, maybe even a personal note? They don't all need to have that, but those little touches, that sense of like they care, do make a difference. And then availability, like how easy is it to buy from this vendor? So those were things that I thought of when I came up with my new list. There's some new favorites and some old favorites that stayed on. So 2 years ago, in my top 5 was Rose Girls, Sassy Girl Aroma, Lavender and Speckles, Harper James, and Teddy Bees. So those were my top 5 2 years ago. There are some that have remained and some that are new. So let me start off with Sassy Girl Aroma. She was there 2 years ago. She's still there now. So Julie is the owner of Sassy Girl Aroma, and I'm so happy to see that she's back. This is timely, I guess, that she's back. So if for those that don't know or are newer to vendor wax or just the wax scene, her brick and mortar store, her business burnt to the ground last year. And I know many people might have just thrown in the towel. And she had other tragedies. I mean, poor Julie, talk about tough woman. So I'm happy that she's back. And I think there's a pre-order either this weekend or next weekend. I haven't, I've been trying to stay away from Facebook groups to not be tempted, but she's back. That's all I know. She's back. And I have her in my top 5 again because she's got an amazing catalog variety, right? So it's not just bakery, but her bakery's fantastic. I love her beach nights. I love that she's got like some really nice laundry scents, hotel scents. I mean, she's just got all kinds of scents, aquatic scents, perfumes. She's got loaves, she's got brittles. They're beautiful too. So this is a brittle. This is a hotel scent too that I have, and they're just beautiful, right? So I just feel like also little pieces of art. Ease of use. You can snap this off and throw them in my Scentsy warmers. But most of all, consistency and performance. I mean, I feel so confident that at least in my home that it's going to work for me, whether it's an open space or downstairs. It also takes me, and I mentioned this in some of my empties, it takes me a while to use this much wax, which is 6 ounces, right? Whereas I could probably quickly use 6 ounces in another vendor's wax, right? But these little guys, I mean, I drop 2. I usually drop 2 in like a Scentsy warmer, and the throw on this is amazing. Consistently, I get amazing throw. I'm not trying to figure out like the magic recipe, right, on how to get it to perform for me. It's just consistent, and I love her scents. There are so many favorites. Like Grain Machine. Actually, I do have Grain Machine here. It's all cut up. This was a loaf. I chopped it up. Grain Machine was one of my first loves of pistachio. There's some that I haven't even tried. Like, I think there's a scent called Marie that I've heard so many things about. I've never tried that one. Adam's Beach Party, fantastic beach night scent. There's just so many that I love. And so for that reason, she has remained in my top 5. And although I'm not going to be purchasing anytime soon, because I have a lot, I love her wax, and she is top 5 for sure. Okay, the next one that I will mention was not in my top 5 last time, 2 years ago, because this was a new vendor for me. And so that vendor is Knowles Farm Scents. Knowles Farm Scents is in my top 5 because I love his blends. Like, when I think about, and there's like a vibe, and I know I've said this before, there's a vibe that Knowles Farm Scents has for me that when I'm thinking like, oh, I need something cozy, I'm usually like, what do I have from Knowles? Do I have Warm the Soul? Do I have like Rustic Cookie Cabin? Do I have, I'm trying to think, the other scents, or if I'm thinking of like, I want like a fruity bakery. Strawberry pound cake is my favorite. His is my favorite strawberry pound cake. Pumpkin pie pound cake, my favorite pumpkin bakery scent, right? And he's also got an amazing beach evenings that works for me. And so yeah, I just feel like when I'm in the mood for something like cozy or something fruity, I think about Knowles, and I feel like Knowles Farm Scents just has a nice combination. His Cali coffee. Cali coffee is a great coffee. So the variety is there from a customer service perspective. He is so responsive and so always really looking to evolve based on feedback. He's got brittles now that he offers. Do I have one? Yes. I wasn't planning on showing and telling, but yeah, he's gone from like cubes. Let me show you a cube. He's gone from like cubes and to like brittles, and now he's offering loaves. I want to say it was Courtney here on YouTube. I think she asked him if he would ever do tubs. Maybe it was somebody, maybe he got multiple requests. I'm not sure, but I remember her asking, and now he's offering tubs, right? So from a variety of sizes, he's got a variety of sizes. He does a pre-order and RTS. So you've got, a couple different opportunities to buy from his wax. And I think he's trying to keep his store a little more it's hard. The bigger you get, right, the harder it is to keep up with demand. But I know he wants to have more products available. And so, yeah, I'm trying to think what else. So he's just a vendor that performs for me. I enjoy a lot, and he does a great job of blending scents together. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Because I've definitely been doing this video 3 times now. So I'm like, what else more is there to say? But, and I guess I will add, it's the personal touches too. When he sends something, there's a personal note in there. You just know he cares about it. Communication, very transparent on what he's working on every week. Maybe not every week, but while he's pouring, usually he'll have pictures of what he's poured that week and giving people status updates on where he is in the pre-order cycle. So all of those little things add up, and I really do love a lot of his scents. So Knowles Farm Scents is in my top 5. Okay, next one is, this is the one that I almost left off. I'm like, what was wrong with me? Second and Spruce. I love her scents as well. You don't need cure time. You don't need cure time really for any of the ones I've mentioned so far. But ready to go. If you love bakery, I feel like I love her bakery. Like that's where I go with Second and Spruce. Like, I want some bakery, some coffee. That's where I'm going. And so she just does great stuff. Erica is another one. Her attention to detail, like as far as packaging and the way things look and all of that stuff is just, top notch. And so I haven't worn this one yet. And I love her labels. I mean, they're just so cute. But, she's got mini loaves. She's done clamshells before. She's another one that's been evolving. I think she's got tubs now. I know she did the cake bite. I love the cake bite. So if she ever brings the cake bite size, I love it. But just, I love the attention of detail, and her wax performs fantastic for me. The throw is fantastic. It's soft wax. Some might say a little too soft, but it's soft wax that it just melts so easily in a Scentsy warmer. And I just love her scents. Another one that's really big on, she cares a lot about her customers and the feedback and all of that stuff. And she's grown very fast. So I know she's always trying to fix things and do better and all of that stuff. So I am super excited and looking forward to her next pre-order, which is, I think, Wicked. is it Wizard of Oz or Wicked now? I got those confused. But whatever it is, I'm looking at that list and I'm making a purchase most likely because I love her wax. I love how it performs. Open space bedrooms, all of it. She's got some kind of magic. She does. And Erica, if I haven't said her name, Erica is the owner. And yeah, her stuff is magical. So this was a vendor that was not on my radar when I made the top 5 video 2 years ago. Not soon after making that video, I was in love. So Second and Spruce is in my top 5. Okay. So what have I done so far? Sassy Girl Aroma, Knowles Farm Scents, Second and Spruce. Okay, 4. Again, not ranked, but 4th vendor I'm talking about. Also new. Wasn't there 2 years ago because she wasn't around 2 years ago. So this is the Candle Nurse. She opened her shop, her business last year in 2024. And I've been so impressed. So impressed with her wax. I love the scents that I've gotten. I've loved everything I've gotten. The samples I've received, I've loved. She's also experimenting with different sizes. As far as availability is concerned, she is trying to keep her always scents in her shop. And I love that. So you can, go on today and you'll find some wax on her website. And she has different sizes. So she's new, right? She just started not even a year ago, I don't think. So still evolving, listening to feedback, and I love that. And also just really thoughtful in her, in the way she packages things. So I will call out last year. So she's in Arizona. And last year when she started, I want to say maybe it was like May. Correct me if I'm wrong if you're watching, Emily. But, in Arizona in May, it's flipping hot. And like it all came packaged in this like thermal, packaging to make sure that wax wouldn't melt. And it's like all of those things when that they took their time, they care about how a customer's going to receive their product, all of those things, top notch. And I think what I love about the Candle Nurse is her scents are complex. I love complex scents. And I'll talk about another vendor that I would also describe that way. But she has like so many scent notes sometimes in some of her blends, and they're amazing. They're beautiful. Like you're not even sure what they're going to smell like, but it's like, wow. I love that I can just drop in one of these shapes in my warmer, and I use Scentsy warmers, and it's going to work for me. I know that she has clamshells as well, so that's easy as well. What else am I going to say about the Candle Nurse? I really love her scents. So we talked about customer service, availability, shipping, and variety. So she does have bakery. I recently purchased some hotel scents from her. And there's a lot of depth to her scents, and I love that. And that's kind of where I'm at as far as like my nose preferences. I love bakery, but I'm really, really digging these complex atmospheric kind of scents. And I love that she offers that. So, and bonus on the color, it's my favorite color, but, the Candle Nurse, yeah, fantastic. Had to mention her in my top 5. And, okay. So this last one, the last slot, it's a 3-way tie. It's a 4-way tie. So it's almost going to be like a coin flip here on what I'm going to say. But I need to pause for a second. I'll be right back. Okay. My mind has changed 3 times on who I'm going to add in here. So, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it and say, and maybe there might be little gasps of an upset, right? Of who I'm not mentioning. I'm going to say that Smell Good shop is going in my top 5. And here's why. 1, performs for me. So I get great scents, great variety in scents. I love, not just in scents, but I love the sizes. Do I have multiple sizes here? I don't have the big sizes. I love that she offers like little sizes if you want to sample things, like you're not quite sure. I love that she has this size, and then she's got another size. I think it's like 9 or 12 pieces. So that is one of the things I love. These little cubes, powerhouses. They perform really well for me. I use my Scentsy warmers for them. And so I love that. Availability. You can go on there anytime and find scents to purchase. You can have customs made anytime if you like. So my friend, actually, her favorite is this one, Room 1408. It's one of her favorite scents. And she can go and request this anytime. So you have made to order, and then you have like RTS all the time. She's got scoops as well. So and then there's other things. I mean, she has actually quite other types of products, not just wax. So the variety there is fantastic. And so I think availability, variety performs for me were the reason that I decided to put That Smell Good shop in my top 5. I believe her shipping's pretty inexpensive as well. So that's bonus. And I don't feel like a lot of people talk about That Smell Good shop enough. So yeah, you might be looking at, wait, who did she leave off? I'll talk about those in a second and why I decided to take them off. But That Smell Good shop, I've purchased once. I've received a lot in friend mail. So Shijo here gave me plenty. So she gave me a nice array of scents. And then one of my friends, Lisa, like I said, she loves 1408. She's brought over samples and stuff. So she does samplers. But for me, yeah, being able to shop sometimes when I want to shop or when I need a scent or I want something I love, customs, all of that stuff, I think just puts her up there and again, performs for me. So That Smell Good shop is in my top 5. So I think the only one that remained was Sassy Girl Aroma from 2 years ago. The two, I should say, that there's 3. The 3 that I was like, oh, they're so close up there is Rose Girls. So honorable mention to Rose Girls because I love so many of her scents. I love her speechless scents. I love some of the Mario combinations that she has, like Mario's Home for Christmas, I think. I love her Christmas tree. I love her poolside and rain scents. Like, I love those scents. Ease of use, do I have any here? Did I bring any? I don't think I have any around. They're cubes. I can just drop them into cubes. So ease of use. I love that about Rose Girls. Variety. She's got bakery. Like I said, she's got laundry. She's got one of my favorite laundry was also from Rose Girls. So I love so many of her scents. Her lemon Sicilian cookie is fantastic. So great scents that I love. Marshmallow something puff. I can go on and on the ones I love from Rose Girls. Only reason that didn't quite make the top 5 was I do feel like consistency sometimes isn't there. Mostly yes. I get really good performance from her. I find I don't need to cure it really. I can just drop it in. But I feel like there is a expiration date on the curing too. Like some vendor you can have around for 3-4 years. I don't feel like that's the case with the Rose Girls. So that kind of a little ding there. But I also love that for the most part, availability is pretty often. I love that she does a pre-order. And if you miss the pre-order, a lot of times she'll have the RTS plus some new scents. So I like that I like that business model. Like if you're not gonna, what am I trying to say? I like that every once in a while you're going to be able to get product. So that was Rose Girls. And then Teddy Bees. Teddy Bees was mentioned 2 years ago. I don't have her in my top 10, although, oh my gosh, this is such a hard pick. The reason I chose against it was consistency. For me, consistency too. It's a vendor that I have to use tea lights if I really, for the most part. Again, this is making generalizations here. I've had some duds that smell fantastic on cold. And then even though I've cured them for like, 9 months to a year, I don't get performance, and some I do. But I will always buy from Teddy Bees because her scents are gorgeous. There's depth to them. They're complex. Some of my favorites. I mean, I'm going to mention here Honeybee. I mentioned this 2 years ago. Still fantastic. This one is a great performer for me. So yeah, it was hard not to put her in there. And I have more Teddy Bees than any other vendor, including Sassy. And for whatever reason, I don't know if I'm hoarding them. I don't know if because they're so precious and beautiful that I don't want to melt them. I don't know what it is, but her tea scents. I'm not a big tea person, but London Fog, love it. So it was hard. It's hard not to talk about Teddy Bees because I do love Teddy Bees and beautiful. But those were just a couple of things that I think dropped it off the top 5. She only has three pre-orders a year, which I feel like, you're waiting a long time. So there'll be people that are newer to wax that I'll see go on her Facebook and when's the next pre-order? And it's like, if you missed it, like if you just missed it, you're going to wait almost like 10, 12 weeks, right? And what is that? Over 2 months. So those are just a couple of reasons why not in my top 5. And then the other one is Lavender and Speckles. I love so many things, so many blends that Beth makes that, I will always buy from Beth and I'll always be buying certain blends. But consistency, sometimes I feel like I can't always use it in open space. I have to use it a little bit more in medium spaces. But I love a lot of her blends as well. And for me, no one does roasted pine cones like Beth does. So there's definitely some things that I absolutely love from Beth. She's got some, there's more than that though. I'm trying to think there's some beach evenings. Like there's definitely some scents that she has that I absolutely love. Now it's a donut shop, So anyway, just the consistency factor was why slipped out of the top 5 from 2 years ago. I do want to mention some I'll call these honorable mentions. I really want to try them because I've heard great things, or I've received that wax, that vendor in a round robin or friend mail and performed really great for me. And I'm really like kind of keep an eye out kind of thing. Of these. So the first one is the Melt Stash. I received 2 pieces of wax from the Melt Stash. I was blown away by how fantastic they performed, and I love the scent too. It was like a lemon cookie bakery scent kind of thing. And I don't feel like a lot of people talk about the Melt Stash, so I'm mentioning it as an honorable mention. So maybe the next time I make this video after I've purchased more or, had more experience with it, it would be up there. Rainbow Melts is another one where I've received some in friend mail and performed fantastic for me. And I know a lot of people I just don't have enough experience with Rainbow Melts to be able to say I would put it in the top 5. It's just purely on experience, but I think there's something good there to try out. And then I've heard amazing things as well from Melting Memories. I believe that's what it's called. It's Veronica. She's got a YouTube channel here as well. She's up in Canada, and I've heard fantastic things. So these are on my radar vendors that I wanted to call out here as you're watching this video. So yeah, that is my top 5. It is hard. It is hard to come up with this list. So let me know what your top 5 was. If you're interested in making a video like this, go for it. This was a tag 2 years ago, and I will mention some names in case because I know they want to do it. I will mention some names just to get the ball rolling, but I don't really want this to be if you're not tagged, no one tagged you, because I don't want anyone to feel like they can't, or they're excluded, or like this is some special kind of video that, only people that are tagged can make, because that's not the case at all. But I do know that Chris, you changed your channel name, and it's like Wax Books and Whimsy. Did I get that right? She was Dazzling Scents with Chris, but Chris on here, I know she's got some thoughts, and I'd be really curious to see if we have a similar top 5. I think Steph from Steph Loves Life said she wanted to do it as well, but really anyone that wants to do this, please do, because I love hearing top 5 top 5 lists, and I'm very curious. Maybe there's someone else that I should be kind of looking out for as far as a vendor to try. So yeah. That was my top 5. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Yeah, this is hard to do, so I feel like I was a little all over the place, but hopefully not too much. And of course, starting it over 3 times also maybe reduced the energy level, but hopefully you enjoy this video, and if you did, please consider giving me a like if you haven't already, or subscribing if you haven't already. Really appreciate that. Helps other people find my channel. And thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.